Hi, my name is James Eric Ross, and I'm a licensed agent in the United States of America. And as a licensed agent, we're tasked with a very big, not only opportunity, because it is an opportunity, but it's a challenge. And the challenge is to allow small business owners, individuals and families, understand their rights and options as it relates to the ACA, Affordable Care Act. If some people may not even know what the ACA is, but as of now, this is the law of the land. And what I want to do today is really give you a sense of what is going on as far as your options, because you do have options. You do not have to, if you don't want to, get an ACA, aka Obamacare plan. If you want to, there are three options we're going to discuss today. The first one is a short-term medical plan. When I say short-term, it's 11 months maximum. Now, we're going to reserve judgment on this plan when you hear the rest of them, but basically how this works is you pay your monthly premium, there is a set deductible, it does have limitations, but at the end of the day, it only lasts for 11 months. People that would use this are people that are traveling internationally, or they don't want a COBRA position with their old plan as far as their health insurance, so they go on to a temporary plan. We're going to reserve judgment on this one. The second one is actually an ACA plan. Now, the Affordable Care Act, I'm a patriot. I served my country for 8 years proudly, and I respect the office of presidency. And what they're doing is I understand what they're trying to do, but I think, and I think a lot of other Americans see, that it's fallen short in several areas. Wouldn't you agree? So an ACA plan has a couple components that make it a compliant, qualified plan. Let me share those with you. First one is EHB. That stands for Essential Health Benefits. Essential Health Benefits are, I'm going to go, there's 60 of them, but I'm going to focus on 3. And minimum essential coverage. These are the 2 things that make a qualified plan. The 4 components that make up this are unlimited pharmaceutical, unlimited mental health, unlimited dependent coverage, and unlimited maternity. Now that's great if you are 24 years old and you may have some schizophrenia or bipolar and need a lot of medications, but what if you don't have any of that stuff? What if you are a small business owner that's in their mid-40s, has 3 kids, everyone's healthy, the last time you went to the doctor was 10 years ago, and the last time you went to the hospital was, you can't even remember. So those are the type of people with this qualified plan that may want to look at a third option. And the third option is non-qualified plan, or what I deem a 21st century plan, because we live in the 21st century. If we live in the 21st century, why are we still utilizing 20th century technology? And the 21st century plan does not meet the essential health benefit. It does not have minimum essential coverage. However, it does have an on-demand component to it, which we're going to talk about. And it also has an adjustable component. My wife is very short. I'm 6'1", and if I got into the car after my wife when she had put the seat all the way up, how effective would I be at driving? So this is the same analogy I want to use for healthcare, is that it is adjustable. So let me talk a little bit about that. If you have an on-demand component, why pay for more than you actually need? If you don't need all of these things, but you're paying for them, then why not look at something that is going to take care of your essentials? And the way that we look at this is through 3 different components. The first one, we're going to look at the short term, we're going to look at ACA, and we're going to look at the 21st century. The first one basically is accident or injury. The second one is a critical issue. And the third one is what we deem a donut hole. And the donut hole is the appendix, it's gallbladder, that's like gout, spleen, because guess what? It's not an accident, is it? And a gallbladder laparoscopy surgery is not a critical illness. It's not. So the critical illnesses are life-threatening cancer, stroke, heart attack. You have organ transplant or failure. You have major burns. You have paralysis. You have loss of eyesight. These are all critical illnesses. With the short-term plan, you're going to have a deductible. I'm going to use United Healthcare as an example. $300 a month for me, 48-year young male that's healthy, and I'm going to pay $278, and I'm responsible for the first $5,000. So in an accident or an injury, let's just use an ACL as an example. That's a torn anterior cruciate ligament, and that costs about $13,000, and you can check that out under newhealthchoice.com. I love this website because I can put in ACL, I can put in anything, CT scan, and it will give me the zip code where that procedure is going to be done. It will tell me the highest cost of that and the lowest cost of that, but the national average is around $13,000 and is about 10 weeks of recovery. So with this plan, if the deductible is $5,000, then I'm going to get the repricing on the network, which is going to take the $13,000 down to probably $10,000. So let's just say $3,000 off for the network, $10,000, of which then with this one, I would, on the temporary plan, I would owe $5,000. I would pay $5,000, that would kick in, and they would pay the rest. With the ACA plan, we're just going to quote a bronze plan, which is the lowest level, $6,350 deductible. And this is something that we call naked insurance. Outside of your wellness, because this is another thing, you don't pay for your physical. And for a woman, that's her OBGYN, that's the PAP, that's the cytological screening, that's the mammography, as well as the physical itself. It could be a colonoscopy for a man or a woman over the age of 50. So the wellness doesn't cost anything for the ACA plan, but the problem is that this is the $6,350. This is a term that we need to know about. Naked insurance means that you aren't covered until you come out of pocket $6,350. So in this scenario, with the $13,000 ACL, you'd still get the repricing from the network of ACA, Affordable Care Act, down to $10,000. You would owe $6,350, and the insurance company would pay $3,650. You follow that? So out of this one, we're looking at $5,000 and we're looking at $6,000. This is great. So think of this 21st century as you linking arms with the most healthy small business owners in the United States. So you have an association, a group. And in associations, there's something called Economies of Scale. So I'm leveraging the fact that I'm linking arms with these millions of people that are in this association that are healthy and they rarely use their health plan. What that's going to do is it's going to drive down the premium and it's going to increase the benefits because the people aren't hardly using it at all. So in this 21st century plan, the association, and this has a $3,000 deductible for the accident. The association is going to pick up $2,500 of the deductible, and your out-of-pocket is going to be $500. So in this $13,000, still get the repricing, takes it down to $10,000. The association pays $2,500 of your $3,000 deductible, leaving you with an out-of-pocket of $500. Manageable, true? Let's go through the second one. The critical illness. It's the same thing. Life-threatening cancer, heart attack, stroke. We just use a 7-day hospital stay. And it was a heart attack and 4 days in ICU. And that was $85,000. That was open heart surgery. It wasn't like a bypass, not like say a double bypass with 4 days in ICU. $85,000, you get the repricing again. If this was here, you would owe the full $5,000. On the ACA plan, you would owe the full $6,350, assuming 100% coinsurance after the deductible, which we are. But in this one, again, 21st century, right? So we have a critical illness component. It's an add-on. So this is something that would fill in the gap of the $3,000 deductible. And in most cases, when that triggering event, the heart attack, the cancer, or stroke occurs, then we are notified, and within 10 business days of the doctor saying, yes, that was a myocardial infarction, yes, that was a stroke, whatever it was, within 10 business days, a check somewhere in the neighborhood, say a $10,000 on the low end. I've seen as high as, say, $25,000, depending upon your age. The younger you are, the more it would be. That check would come to you in the mail. What we recommend then, as the agent of record, is to peel the $3,000 off. We're just going to use $10,000, so that would leave you $7,000. That's your money. The insurance takes care of the rest. The $7,000 is, correct me if I'm wrong, but bills don't stop coming in when you're critically injured or ill, do they? No, of course, they keep coming in. So that $7,000 is going to act like a disability type payment to pay for your mortgage, to pay for your food, to pay for your gas, and so forth. So in this situation, we've demonstrated with this, you're out of pocket for these issues, $10,000, $85,000. Now we get to the donut hole. But in all the cases, the maximum out of pocket on this 21st century on-demand adjustable plan is only, the maximum is $500. Now we get to what we call the donut hole. The donut hole, emergency appendectomy, same thing, $5,000. Gallbladder, it's a $24,000 surgery, so that's what we're going to use. $24,000 surgery. We get a $5,000 repricing from the network. That's like, if you don't understand that, the analogy I use is like when you go to Costco or when you go to Sam's Club or BJ's, if I went with a Sarasota library card or a Boston library card to Sam's, would they let me in? No, they wouldn't, because membership has what? Membership has privileges. That's what the network allows us to do, is to get that repricing. Takes that gallbladder down to $19,000. Of which I would pay $5,000 of that, the insurance company would pay $14,000. In this, I would pay $63.50 of the $19,000, and they would pay the balance, which is roughly $11,650. Then you have the last piece, which you basically have the donut hole. So you would come out of pocket, but it's still less, $3,000. So you would pick up $3,000. They would pick up the $16,000 after that. So I hope that I'm doing this in 2 segments, but I hope that you see that out of the 3 options, and we did reserve room, if you remember, to come back to this, for someone that is 45 years old, married, with 2 kids, who is healthy, this doesn't make any sense. And this doesn't make any sense because they have to have that naked insurance for all that. So the 21st century plan, we're going to talk a little bit more in the next segment, makes a ton of sense for them because it has 2 things. It has predictable benefits, which I've just shown. Any accident, any injury, the most that you would pay is $500. The critical illness, you peel that money off of the check that's issued to you, thereby eliminating your deductible, and then it's 100% after that. The donut hole, the most out-of-pocket you're going to pay is $3,000 on this. Now, I'm an expert negotiator, and the people on my team are expert negotiators, and we could possibly even get that reduced down for you. The second thing is predictable premiums. This can't be understated. The predictable premium on this is they actually have written in the law that they can increase it quarterly. So this is 11 months, so we know where this is going to go. You're only going to get that price for 11 months. But if they can increase this quarterly, and the 21st century plan has a 36-month, up to a 36-month rate guarantee with no contract. What I mean by that is I'll use my phone service. anytime I do anything with my phone, they increase my contract to 24 months. That means I'm locked in for 24 months. You do have to sign an agreement. The gotcha in all of this is that you don't have to qualify for this plan. It's guaranteed issue. It doesn't matter if you have Parkinson's, if you had a heart attack the day before. The gotcha here is you do have to qualify. So this is James Eric Ross saying, stay tuned. We've got a lot of information to cover, and Christmas is coming up. Let us take this off of your plate before Thanksgiving. And I know there's a lot of people that have to-do lists and checklists. Let us remove your confusion, cure your indecision by coming and talking to one of our experts and understand the 3 options that you have. Well, actually,